You ever have someone show up on your land dressed like a cop, flashing lights on a car that ain't official, telling you need to follow their rules? Yeah, that actually happened. And what makes it crazier? They didn't expect to find a biker gang cooking ribs when they tried it. Let me back up a second. A few years ago, I finally got what I'd been working for: 60 acres of Texas land. Real solitude. No neighbors for half a mile. Just me, my horses, a few rescue dogs, a patchy vegetable garden, and the kind of peace that makes you breathe a little deeper. I work in cybersecurity, mostly remote, so days were spent coding with the window open, listening to the wind and nights. Just quiet. It was perfect. Then, Meadowgate Hills popped up on the edge of my land. One of those planned communities with cookie-cutter homes and beige everything. I figured it'd be no big deal. They had their side, I had mine. Except they had an HOA. And the president, a guy named Randall Pierce, who looked like the kind of man that used to manage a Staples and took it way too seriously. First, it was a flyer tucked into my mailbox. Welcome to the neighborhood with a full rule book. Lawn height restrictions, approved trash bins. No visible livestock. You know all the stuff that absolutely doesn't apply to a working ranch. I laughed, tossed it, moved on. But then came the first letter, certified mail. Randall claimed my horses were a violation of community aesthetics and told me to either build a white vinyl privacy fence or move them. Now, mind you, the nearest house was behind a tree line a mile away. Maybe if you climbed their chimney with a telescope, you could see a tail flick. I sent a firm, polite letter back with a copy of my deed and zoning maps. Thought that'd be the end of it, but Randall didn't back down. He doubled down. Next thing I know, I'm getting packets from some law firm full of grainy surveillance photos, my pasture, my old trailer, even my dang tomato plants. Said I was bringing down property values, and they had the right to enforce standards under some obscure county ordinance. That's when I stopped laughing. I called my cousin Calvin. He's a lawyer who lives to tear apart overreaching HOAs. He dug in and told me straight they've got no legal standing. But he also said to get ready because people like Randall don't just walk away. They escalate. And boy did he. Turns out Randall had convinced the HOA board to fund their own community enforcement division. They bought an old white SUV, slapped a decal on the side, threw on an amber light bar, and got themselves uniforms that looked a little too close to real deputies. I saw the brochure, Randall posing next to the car, like he was running for sheriff. They looked ridiculous, but also dangerous, because now they were pretending they had authority. Then, just when I thought it couldn't get any more absurd, I found a laminated notice zip-tied to my gate. It said they were planning to enter my land on July 15th at 1 p.m. to conduct an abatement inspection. That's right, Randall and his rent-a-cops were planning a little raid, so I made a call of my own. His name's Tank. We served together in the Army. These days, he runs the Iron Brotherhood, a biker club, mostly made up of veterans. Every summer, they host a big charity barbecue to raise money for disabled vets. I asked if they wanted to do it at my place this year. He didn't even ask why. He just said, "Tell me when." So I cleared space by the pond, set up grill areas, prepped everything. We picked the exact date Randall was planning his little stunt. And when that Saturday rolled around, the ranch came alive. Over 100 bikes rolled in, lined up like chrome soldiers. Kids ran barefoot through the grass. Folks set up blankets, grills, smoked with ribs and brisket. It was beautiful, and right on schedule just before 1 p.m. One of the guys posted by the road gave a little whistle. The Meadowgate patrol had arrived. They rolled up real slow amber lights flashing like that. Meant something. Randall stepped out in full costume, clipboard, in hand, puffed up like a rooster. His partner looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. I met them halfway up the drive tank and a few others beside me. Randall cleared his throat. "Mr. Walker, we're here to perform an inspection under HOA. Stop right there," I said. "You are not law enforcement. You're trespassing. Turn around." He tried to bluster, held up the clipboard like it had magical powers. "This is a formal notice." Tank stepped forward. Calm. Dead serious. "Buddy, he said you're interrupting a veteran charity barbecue on private land. And unless you've got a real badge and a real warrant, I suggest you head back before your tires end up in the pond." Randall's face turned about 3 shades of red, but he saw the writing on the wall. No one moved. No one even raised their voice, just a wall of leather chrome and unimpressed stares. He turned, muttered something about this not being over, and scrambled back into the SUV. His partner didn't wait. He peeled out of there so fast he nearly clipped one of the grills. The whole place erupted in cheers. But it wasn't over, not quite. I'd already called the sheriff's office earlier that morning, let them know what was about to happen. Told them calmly, didn't make it sound like I was expecting a fight. Just wanted it on record. And sure enough, about 2 hours later, a real deputy showed up. Calm professional. She walked the grounds. Saw the photos, saw the uniforms, and nodded slowly. Said impersonating law enforcement was a serious charge. Took all the info, thanked us for keeping it peaceful, and drove off. The fallout. Oh, it was glorious. Randall tried to justify himself to the HOA, but residents were furious. Turns out nobody had voted to fund fake cop cars. Emergency meeting was held. Randall got stripped of all titles. The patrol was shut down overnight. I got a written apology, my legal fees reimbursed, and a promise they'd never bother me again. The ranch went quiet again. Just the way I like it. And every July now, the Iron Brotherhood returns for that barbecue. It's become a tradition. Good food, good cause, and maybe a little reminder that some people shouldn't go poking around places they don't belong. So tell me, if you were in my boots, would you have done the same? Was I right to call in the bikers? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about justice boundaries and what it really takes to deal with a fake cop with a clipboard.